Let's rank every live-action Spider-Man movie suit, just because. What's up, Titans? TC here, and welcome to the first episode of TC's Ranked. Very original, I know. And today we're going to be ranking from worst to best, the top 11 live-action Spider-Man movie suits. And I'm very curious to know if my ranking matches up with your guys' ranking at home, so make sure to leave your ranking down in the comments below. Alright, and without further ado, DJ, spin that shit.
Coming in at number 11 and dead last on my list is the homemade suit from the Amazing Spider-Man 1. I don't even know if you can really call this a suit. It's like a mask with beanie and glasses. And if I was Baron Zemo, I'd sue his ass for copyright infringement. He's probably out there somewhere punching the air right now. But no, really, this is by far the most minimalistic Spider-Man suit you could get. And honestly, it reminds me of those full-body spandex suits made by Morph Suits. Not an ad, by the way. This look was very strange, and when you pair that with Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man acting like a complete douchebag while wearing this suit, it just makes it even worse. Alrighty, next up at number 10 is the Spider-Man wrestling costume from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1, or as Peter wanted to call it, the Human Spider Suit.
Oh, that sucks.
Now this costume is just goofy as hell. I mean, look at it. It looks like a costume that you or I could make. The red long-sleeve shirt covers his entire head, but leaves a visor-shaped area open for his eyes. He's got the Spider-Man emblem spray-painted on the front of the shirt. It looks like some of those 90s t-shirts from Tap Out. He's also got some blue pants and what look like batting gloves that you would see baseball players use. All in all, at least it's a full costume and not just a mask. And this wrestling cage match scene with is one of my favorite scenes from the entire movie, so that elevates it a bit. R.I.P. Macho Man. Coming in at number 9 is the stealth suit from Spider-Man Far From Home, or what Ned calls it, the Night Monkey suit. The suit is pretty much just a lamer version of the Spider-Man Noir suit, and for those who don't know much about Spider-Man Noir, he's pretty much like a stealth vigilante and operates in the shadows, kind of like Batman. The suit is given to Peter by a SHIELD agent in a very creepy scene where the agent is forcefully telling Peter, who's not 18 by the way, to undress in front of her.
Embarrassing.
Now, hurry up.
Weird.
If you flip the genders in this scene, this movie would have been cancelled by Twitter by now. The suit itself isn't very interesting. It's pretty much just black all over except for the fingerless gloves and his Spidey goggles. The black stealth suit didn't really serve a specific function either, like sneaking up on someone or any type of stealth attacks or things like that, but was mainly just used for aesthetics, and so no one would actually recognize that he was Spider-Man, even though they did.
Hey, monkey. Okay.
Next up at number 8 is the symbiote suit, or otherwise known as the black suit from Spider-Man 3. Now don't get me wrong, I love the sequence of events that led up to Spider-Man wearing the black suit for the first time. Him hanging from the web and looking at himself in the reflection of the building is just beautiful imagery. But the suit itself was just disappointing. There's literally nothing different about this suit than the original red and blue Sam Raimi Spider-Man suit, other than the fact that it's all black. That's all they did. They just spray painted the original suit black. It's still the same raised webbing, the same patterns, and the same lenses. They literally just took the original suit and made it black, which I think is very lazy, especially when the black suit is iconic for looking like it's painted on and alive at times. Now, it's been well documented that Sam Raimi hated the Venom character and was pretty much forced to shove him into this movie, so I think he just said, fuck it. What really angers me most though about what we got was the fact that there are images that clearly show that they indeed had plans to give us a more comic accurate rendition of the suit, with the big Venom logo on the chest and the suit appearing just slick black without the raised webbing. Man, that would have been cool. But apparently some of the reasons why they didn't go with it was because Toby felt uncomfortable in the suit, and then also they said it looked like a porn fetish suit, so anyways, I still would have loved it. Coming in at number 7 is the homemade suit from Spider-Man Homecoming. Now I think this is definitely the best suit out of all the homemade suits. The whole aesthetic of it reminds me of the Scarlet Spider suit worn by Ben Reilly, who's actually Peter Parker's clone. Except you would have to inverse the colors because Reilly wore the blue sleeveless hoodie, and in the Spider-Man Homecoming suit, he's wearing a red sleeveless hoodie. It all flows very well together with the red boots and his mask being red as well. He's still got those Stark Tech lenses that help him animate emotion, even though the rest of the costume is pretty much DIY. The blue onesie underneath adds a nice contrast to all the red, and he's sporting the web shooters over the sleeves, which looked pretty cool. Also, he wore this suit because Stark stripped him of his other suit that was full of tech, so seeing him adapt and depend more on himself and his own abilities was very refreshing. Next up at number 6 is the Amazing Spider-Man suit from the first installment of the Amazing Spider-Man franchise. Now this suit has attitude. Full transparency here, I did not like this suit at first because I thought there was just too many changes to the classic Spider-Man aesthetic. The fingers on the gloves were now a red and blue pattern, the belt area just seemed off, and the eyes had a weird reflective yellowish tint to them. That's a few too many changes for my liking, but the way that this suit fit Andrew Garfield like a glove is freaking fantastic. It almost looks painted on. The suit isn't higher on my list because of the changes to the classic design that I mentioned earlier. The eyes being yellowish just clashes with the other colors, and there was no need to switch up the colors on the fingers. I think they did this just to make Spider-Man appear more edgy and stylistic. What also sours me on this design in general is Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man's attitude while wearing the suit. He just came off as a cocky bully and mean-spirited at times, like, dude, you aren't Batman, okay? You're supposed to be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Chill out. Have a Snickers.
I just did 80% of your job. Huh? That's how you repay me?
Coming in at number 5 is the Iron Spider-Man suit from Avengers Infinity War. You know, normally I would rage out about something as iconic as the red and gold Iron Spidey suit not being given to us on the big screen. But I was actually pleasantly surprised on how unique and beautiful this new suit was. We first got a glance at this suit at the end of Spider-Man Homecoming. The metallic red, gold, and blue all fit together so well, and the glowing eyes add to the overall Iron Man aesthetic. The build up to Peter actually getting the suit was just as cool, and a great experience for us, the audience. Spider-Man tags along when he's told not to by Stark and ends up passing out from the lack of oxygen, only for Stark to
unlock 17A
and save his life by equipping him with the suit in mid-air. They actually hide the gold Spidey legs from us for a while, and I could feel that inner TC being like,
where are those freaking golden arms at?
Then we finally get to see the gold legs appear when bracing for impact while catching Mantis. Also, when Spider-Man activates Instant Kill, you can see the gold legs go to work, and it's fantastic. So even though this wasn't 100% comic accurate portrayal of the Iron Spider-Man suit, it's still pretty freaking cool and a welcome addition to the ever-evolving catalog of Spider-Man suits. Next on the list at number 4, ooh, we're getting close to number 1, guys, is the Spider-Man Homecoming suit that we first saw make an appearance in Captain America Civil War.
Hey, everyone.
Good job.
This suit is beautiful. It's sleek and vibrant with the classic red and blue colors. There's a nice black outline that complements the overall design of the suit. The black trim wraps around the deltoids, the area in between the bicep and the forearm, similar to the arm wraps football players use. And the web shooters are black as well, so everything looks balanced.
This whole thing should be.
You have the smaller spider emblem on the front and the eyes, man. Those freaking perfect Spider-Man eyes. Because there's Stark Tech in the suit, the eyes are able to convey the emotions just like you would see in the comics that a static pair of eyes just could never pull off. This Spider-Man suit is truly a comic book character come to life and one of the closest comic accurate representations ever. But that being said, there's some downsides to this as well. Now you might be asking yourself, well geez TC, you're calling the suit one of the closest depictions from the comics, so why is it only your number 4? Well, because they had to use a lot of CGI for this version of Spider-Man, he sometimes doesn't look real and comes off as a complete CGI creation, and that sort of bugs me. Also, there's just too much tech for a Spider-Man suit in my opinion. I like the fact that Peter would create his own suits and not be so reliant on all this extra tech like a crutch. So that's why it is where it is. Next on the list at number 3 is the black and red Spider-Man suit from Spider-Man Far From Home. Wash, rinse, and repeat everything I said from the previous number. Spider-Man Far From Home suit is pretty much identical to the Spider-Man Homecoming suit, except it's now black and red, and boy do I love me some black and red. Just like the Homecoming suit, this suit is also freaking beautiful and reminds me of the Superior Spider-Man suit from the comics. All the bells and whistles from the Spider-Man Homecoming suit are here, except this time the spider emblem is outlined in white on the front, and in full white on the back, and it really pops. Oh, and besides my love for the red and black, Peter actually makes the suit himself, even if he was using StarTech to do it. Oh boy, coming in at number 2 is the Sam Raimi Spider-Man suit from Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. Now I know there were a few tweaks made to the suit from the first movie to the last 2 movies, but I'm bundling these all together because they weren't drastic changes. I can't say enough about this suit. This was the Spider-Man that started the superhero boom along with the Singer X-Men films back in the early 2000s. I was around 16 at the time, so I grew up with these films as a pillar of superhero cinema. I loved how Spider-Man looked with the raised webbing and the reflective eyes. This suit had just a sense of realism to me because in some of the greatest action sequences of all time, and I'm talking about the Green Goblin showdown at the end of Spider-Man 1 and the train sequence with Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2, we see the suit get battle-torn. We see the ripped mask, we see the blood, and we see the visible tearing of the material, and those are the images that are iconic in my opinion. The suit is real, and the person underneath is human. This suit plays no games. It's red, blue, with silver raised webbing, and the eyes are the perfect shape. And I almost forgot. He made it himself. Dun, 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 dun. Coming in at number 1, and the absolute best live-action Spider-Man suit of all time is the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit from The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now let me just start off by saying that I am not a fan of the Amazing Spider-Man franchise in the slightest. I thought hipster Peter Parker was too cool for school, and his emo relationship with Gwen was cringe at times. But that doesn't mean that they didn't pull off one of the best Spider-Man suits of all time. One of my main gripes with both the MCU Spider-Man StarTech suits were that it just didn't feel real at times, and that he looked like a completely animated CGI character. Take a look at this shot right here. It's one of my favorite shots from the movie. The way that the suit ripples in the wind is fantastic because it gives you the sense that a real person is wearing the suit. The suit is not wearing the person. Did that just make sense? Oh well, the suit is just amazing. The red is bright, the blue is dark and bold, the colors really pop. I honestly think The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is one of the best color-saturated comic book films ever. So why is this my number 1? Well, I've already told you a bunch of reasons already, but this suit takes all of the best things from the previous suits on this countdown and combines them into one. This suit has the eye shape of the MCU Spider-Man and the raised webbing from Tobey's Spider-Man. You mix a little bit of Andrew's slender build in there and voila, the perfect Spider-Man suit.
And there we have it. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit is the best Spider-Man suit of all time. Fight me, debate me in the comments down below. I want to know your guys' ranking. And also, if you guys like this video and you guys want to see more like it, drop some suggestions down below of different ideas and different ranking videos I can do. I'm always open to hearing your guys' suggestions. And with that said, TC out.